you're still a subscriber. Thanks for hanging in there. I know it's been a good minute since I did a video last. I think probably going on about 6 weeks maybe. Maybe toward the end of June. Last week of June. So it's been a little minute. And the primary reason for that is I don't get a lot of stitching time these days. My stitching time is, as I put it on Instagram the other day, it is shorts and sporadic. So sometimes I can get in a little, 10 minutes, 15 minutes of stitching while Abby's out playing, doing whatever it is she's playing with. But I've been working 6 days a week, except for this past week. It is Saturday, by the way. It is actually a little after 4 p.m. on Saturday, August the 13th. And the only reason I remember that is because today is the first day of 9 days off that I have from work, because Andy is also taking some time off from his job to spend some time working on the remodel of the house out there. So and obviously he can't be out there remodeling the house if he has a baby to watch, so I'm taking some time off from work so that I can watch Abby. So stitching time these days is really, like I just said, sometimes maybe I can get in a little bit of stitching time when she's awake, but then I have to put her down. I have to put her down for a nap in her crib by 1:15 in the afternoon, just so I can get the dishes taken care of, which, yes, there's a load in the dishwasher now if you don't hear it. Just so I can get the dishes unloaded and loaded back into the dishwasher and grab something to eat real quick before I have to get ready for work and head out the door for work at 2:30. So yeah, and then by the time I get off work, I'm cooking, or if I don't feel like cooking, even if I grab something to eat on the way home, to bring home for dinner, I'm just so tired by the end of the day. I just don't feel like stitching. And my stitchy bug is kind of like, my stitchy bug is in a holding pattern. Like, I'm not jumping at the bit to get stitching done, but I do try to get some stitching done when I can. So it's a whenever I get the time to do it kind of thing. So videos right now, I'm unfortunately maybe a little bit more spread out. But I do have a good bit to show you. I do have quite a number of projects that I can show you that I have been working on. I do have one finish. I do have a whip go finish, and I have a little bit of haul to show you, like a stitchy mail haul, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm not gonna spend too much time on my little intro. So let me just show you what all I got to show you. So I'm trying to figure out where to show. I've got all my whips right here that I need to show you guys, because I've got so many up here. I need to get some of these cleaned out. My little cart up here is getting full. Because if you don't remember, I keep all my projects that I'm working on a cart that's right here by the couch. Gnats. We've had a horrible time with gnats lately. But I keep all of my whips in progress. I keep them up here on my cart, and then when I'm done working with them, I'll put them back in my on my shelves, which are probably, including my stitching stuff, most of that stuff back there in that room may end up having to get cleared out here soon, because I mean, while Abby is fine right now, eventually she is going to need a toddler bed at some point. She is going on, she is now 21 months old, y'all. She is growing up on us. She's getting so big. And she's smart as a whip. She's learning the numbers and learning the ABCs and her colors and her shapes and all that good stuff. And maybe I can, at the end of the video, maybe I can post some pictures or some videos or something of her, so that you guys can see what she's been up to. Because I know it's been a while since I've actually shared something of her, and I don't want to do it too much because I don't want to bore y'all. So, but I'll try to add a couple of things there at the end, here at the end of the video, in case anybody's interested in seeing what she looks like and what she acts like now and what she's up to. So, but as I was saying, I got some whips to show you guys. So the first thing, I guess I'll try to show you guys what I was working on last time I did a video, what I was working on. And I remember I was working on Faith, Hope, and Love by the Workbasket. So that's what it looks like. Really beautiful piece. And if I have pictures, or a screenshot or anything of where progress was at last time, I will post them. If not, I apologize. I will try to remember what I've done since the last you saw it. But be gentle with me, y'all. It's been 6 weeks, so pull this up because it's long. it's short, but it's long. So this is where my progress is at now. I think the last time I was working on this, I did have all of this done except for the two letters, the initials, my initials. And then I started working on this second band here. They're 3-part bands, kind of the way they do like in Death by Cross Stitch. They're like, it's 3 separate bands with like different patterns. So I did most of that second band right there. So I think my goal was like 500 stitches, and I had finished out a thread here, and I had met my 500 stitches, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I really don't have it in me right now to try to finish that out. So, but yeah, I got that far. This one was already here, but I just went and did that second band. So that is where that one is at now. I believe this is on a 40 count bramble by Picture This Plus. That's good. I mean, it has kind of a lavendery kind of undertone, but really pretty. And I am using I want to say it's Silks for You. I'm pretty sure it's Silks for You. Silk in, don't know what the number is, but it is like a dark purple to slightly lighter purple. Really, really pretty. So, so yeah, that's my first one. Next to show you, I think I was also kind of working on, did I show you all this last time? If not, if I did, I'll show it to you again. I was also working on the 2020 Pandemic Sampler by Sarcy Girl on Instagram. And if you go to her Instagram, there will be, if you go to her Instagram profile, there will be a link to, I think it's a link tree, and you can still get this pattern for free. So I did restart it. I did do it. I had started working on it in 2020, and I had dyed the fabric like she suggests in her pattern notes, and was working on it on a piece of fabric that was pretty much that same color, and I wasn't enjoying it. So I restarted it, earlier this year, I think. Was it this year or was it last year? I think it was this year. But I restarted it, and it's on a 40 count bedrock by Stitch Me. So I'll show you how far I got. And I think this was another one that was, I either wanted to work on it so many days, or I think I wanted to work on it so many days. I don't remember what the goal on this was. Let me, where is my, I just had it. Oh. So, it's not on this one. Okay, so yeah, my goal on this one was a number of days. That's what I was thinking. So I'm trying to get this so it's easier to see, but I don't know. I think what I had done, turn this down a little bit more. I think what I had done up until the last time you saw it was I just had like the stem here, this brown stem, and I had the yellow flowers, but that's all I had. And so I basically finished the tree. I think I still had like a couple lines left down here that I finished, and then the two ladies on either side. So making good progress on that. Really pretty. So yeah, this is 40 count bedrock by Stitch Me. Really pretty. And this is all just in DMC. Not doing anything special with that. As far as what else I picked up, I'm gonna wait and show y'all that. So, after you last saw me, I picked up and started working on a sunset kit. It is calendar of events. I switched out the fabric. I'm not doing it on the Ada that it came with, but this is what it looks like when it's all done. And don't get me wrong, I am still using the kit floss and the kit pattern. I'm just not using the kit fabric. So I do know I have a picture. I'm going to insert the picture of what it looked like last time you saw it. And this is where it's at now. That's where it's at now. Obviously, I have done a lot more of that border. And that is my first goal, that maybe I can put this back on go again next year and do the other half of that border. Because it's easy. It's easy as crap, but it's just monotonous. Because you just have squares. Yellow and gold squares, and then the green squares, and you have the green line that goes along the inside there. So my initial goal in this was actually to complete the border, but when I saw how much stitching time I was able to get, I had to change that. So I said I'm gonna get done about half of the border. So this is about half of the border, so maybe just under half, because this is where I had to stop, because that's where my Q snap ended. So, but either way, next year I'm going to try to finish that border, and then I can start working on the little squares on the inside. So No clue what this fabric is. I want to say it's 32 count de balloon, maybe. Don't hold me to that. I have no clue what this fabric is. I just know it's an even weave. 32 count even weave. So I got that. And then I did get something done. I did get something done. Should I show you now or should I show you? I'm gonna wait. I want to show you at the very end what my finish was. So I have also been working on some other things. Have not stitched on Ann Barson Labro, unfortunately. But I'm hoping that next time I see you guys, I will have actually been able to pick her up and work on her again. Early this week, I got out Scarlett House's A Changed World. And I wasn't very far on it. I'm still working on this border here. The border. I had the dark part of this square done, and then I had all the way up across here. I did have this whole square done here. But I think there's some like darker stitches. There's white up here that you can't really see, but then there's a darker stitch inside each white bit. That I still need to do actually, but that's A Changed World by Scarlett House, and I am using a working copy. It's charted in either DMC or Veriswa. I wanted to be a little bit more special than DMC, but at the same time I couldn't exactly splurge for a Veriswa silk. So I'm kind of doing my own little color conversion of fancy flosses that I had in my stash. So so nothing over here has changed. I still got that square done. That was already done, but this is where it's at now. My goal on this is 10 days, and so far I worked on it for 4. And obviously I've only been able to get this little zigzag done right here. And the other day, I managed to get the red, that red done right there, which is Cherry Cobbler, I think is the name of it. And this white. It's almost white, but I think I'm using like natural or something. What's the color that I'm using? Is antique white is the color that I'm using for this. And the blue, in case you're wondering, where is that? The blue that I'm using is Black Crow. I think in DMC she has it charted for 310, which I thought was a little harsh, too harsh of a color. So I'm using Black Crow, which has a blue tone to it. It's a very, very, very deep navy blue. So, but that's how far I've gotten so far on it. So, I still have 6 more days to work on it. And then I will have met my Whip Go goal. Yesterday, I pulled out and worked on Hello Kitty Cupcake, which is one of the 4 August numbers for Whip Go. At this point, y'all, I'm not even really trying to keep up with Whip Go. I'm just trying to work on whatever projects have already been called. Just whatever I feel like working on. I'm going to hold this back here, even though this is a free pattern. Technically, I think it's meant for either perler beads or cross stitch, but it's Hello Kitty Cupcake. These colors, that's just where I've been highlighting my pattern off. But it is on Deviant Art. You could probably search Hello Kitty Cupcake on Deviant Art and find it. This is all just DMC. And obviously that purple bit that you saw, this purple bit, that's what I stitched. And it's all white, so it's more white. And that actually is B5200. So this is where she is at now. So everything from the top of the eye hole, that line right there and up is what I stitched. So because when I picked it up, I stitched a full line going across those eye holes. So, and there's still like a couple more stitches up here that I need to do, and then there's a little bit in here in the middle for like where the cupcake cream is, and then I get to work on another color. But my goal on this one is to finish it, which is not a very big pattern. As you can see, it's fitting inside my 6-inch, maybe 8-inch. I think this is my 6-inch or 7-inch hoop, but it's not a very big. It's not a big design. So, and this is an Ada. This is a Fabrics by LJ Ada, which I think is called Gamble, if I'm not mistaken. But he hasn't dyed fabric in several years now, so I don't know what to tell you about that. So, but, and it is small enough that I actually can put it in my bag. I'm going to be going sometime this week. I don't know what days yet, but I'm going to be going sometime this week to Georgia, overnight trip to Georgia to visit my daughter. And I think I'm going to take that one because it's easy to work on. So, now we come to the thing that I finished. I'm going to insert the picture of where it was at when I first picked this up to work on it to finish it. So, you guys remember this one? I literally have not picked this up in years. Like years. And I remember starting this when I lived in Georgia. And I've been back home in South Carolina for 4.5 years now, almost 4.5 years. So that tells you anything. And so, and I don't think I picked it up since I've been in South Carolina. So, you saw what it looked like. Yes, this is on a very big piece of fabric. I apologize. I finished Dutch Tulip. Better light here. Dutch Tulip. This is a freebie that you can still find by Threadwork Primitives. Again, I'm sure if you do a Google search for Threadwork Primitives Dutch Tulip, you can find it. But I will, if I think about it, I will find the link, and I will post the link down below in the description box to this pattern. But they do have a couple other freebies as well. But this is pretty. It's probably not my favorite, but it is pretty. And I did this in the called for is it Gentle Arts? Or I think it's Gentle Arts, yeah. I could just very well look. Yeah, Gentle Arts Sample Threads. Some toffee, dark chocolate, which I don't have a lot left of, and sarsaparilla, and ginger snap. So that's all actually the called for colors. So, but I mean, if you like the design, you can always do different colors. It's very fall-like, very brown and caramel colors. So, so yeah, I'm very happy that I have another finish. So yeah, if you follow me on Instagram, you already saw that. But it's pretty. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty. But I'm not the biggest fan of the fact that I was doing 3/2 on this MCG even weave. If you know anything about MCG, I won't say if you're old school, but if you know anything about MCG even weaves and even the linens and stuff, you know that they're not always the count that they say they are. I don't know, but it was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be a 28 count. I don't know if it was supposed to be 28 or 32 count, but I know it's a 28 count. Antique white was the name of the fabric. I know, right? And I had over-dyed it. I had kind of splashed it with some brown dye to give it that kind of hand-dyed look. I don't know. It was just, it's not my favorite. It's pretty. Like I said, it's pretty. I like it, but it's not my favorite. Will I ever frame it and hang it up? Probably not. But that is everything that I've been stitching on for these last 6 weeks. And I know, to me, it feels like a lot, but to you guys, it might not be that much. Depends on how much stitching time you get, right? For somebody that might have more stitching time than I do, would probably get way more done in 6 weeks than I'm able to get done. But, I mean, it is what it is. That's the stage that I'm in life right now. So it is what it is. So as far as haul and stitching mail, I have a little bit to show you. I need to take a drink first. Excuse me while I wet my palette. Today I am drinking the Food Line brand orange pineapple soda. I think these are these supposed to be caffeine free? Yeah, it says it's caffeine free right there. So, not sugar free though, I'm sure. Contains 0% juice, however. Sugar's 46 grams, so it does still have sugar. It's not 0 sugar, but it is caffeine free. I'm trying to limit my caffeine and my sugar right now. Just because I feel like it. So what have I gotten for haul? I'll start with the boring stuff first. I did get my issue of World of Cross Stitch. This is issue number 322. And this is what it looks like. And it came with like a card, I guess. Yeah, it came with a stitchable card with a little bear on it. That was the free gift. So I will do a quick flip through of this. Our little furry tail this month is a cute little scarecrow mouse. Super cute. And they also have the pattern for that bear inside the magazine as well. And then we have a thatched home. It's a step into summer. On the one of the design that was the big one on the cover. So I'm not showing you that too much. That is by Susan Bates. Articles and write-ins and stuff like that. And then by Jenny Vandewiel. Vandewiel, I never know how to say her last name. Keep the Faith. Cards or hangings or however you want to finish these up. This one is, it is well with my soul. And then we have Live for the Beach. This is by Poppy Benner. These are cute. Cute little, what do you call them? Like the little huts, the changing cabanas. Is that what you call them? Cabanas? So. And there's one for each letter. It's a whole alphabet. And then our write-in wish granted cross-stitch pattern for Jenny. And this month is a rocking horse. So I'm trying to show you just the pattern, the design here. Just a cute little, sweet little rocking horse. Oh, sorry. I got distracted. There's a sampler on the other side over here, and I was trying to look and see if they told what that sampler was. What's her name? Iona Golby? Or maybe this is Beehive? No, it can't be Beehive. I don't know. But it's a pretty sampler. If anybody knows right offhand what that sampler is, let me know. It looks like it says at the top, he who sows courtesy reaps friendship, and he who plants kindness gathers love. Iona Golby. Golby's work, the Old Wesleyan Chapel, 2022. I mean, it doesn't say, there's like a little blurb right there, but it doesn't tell anything. It just says, samplers stitched back in time with a vintage design. It was a question, and she talks about, you might like to search for Moira Blackburn samplers from Bothy Threads. For a range of traditional samplers with a wonderful vintage feel, take your pick from over 12 different designs available as kits. One of which is this Beehive XS16 pattern that comes with this wide art 16 count parchment Ada, pre-sorted short can, contains just whole cross stitch and back stitch. Anyway, so maybe that is Beehive. Is that more of Blackburn Beehive? I don't know. Speaking of Moira Blackburn, that's one of the haul things that I got. You're gonna have to see what it is. Then we have Amanda Gregory Blooming Wild. I've never been big into like cross stitch patterns of like flowers and stuff. Flowers and weeds and wildflowers, all that good stuff. I've never been one to really get into those kind of things. And then Pet of the Month is Doreen Jones charted a lovely little hamster. Mini lop, sorry, it's a mini lop bunny rabbit. That was Doreen Jones designs, like little things for people when they write in. Apparently, new subscribers can choose from one of two cross-stitch. New subscribers, I guess in the UK, can choose from one of two cross-stitch kits. Those are pretty. And Medio Makes Bright and Sunny Outlook. It's a bright and sunny outlook for this weather collection. This is the design library for the month. Just different weather related things. I don't know if this makes it any easier to see them. But there's more than just what you see here. There's all kinds of different little motifs. There's like multiple pages. So multiple things. Design library. And next month it says hobbies. It's going to be the design library. By Megan Keynes, we have Monkeying Around, or Colorful Monkey. It says perfect weekend project. Yeah, if you're able to stitch 12 hours a day. And then we have by Doreen Jones, we have a travel set. For a bag and I guess a floss carrier. So these are cute. And it does give you finishing instructions for both of these things. The Sounds of the Sea by Lisa Reeks. Cute little seaside designs. And then we have by Jenny Barton, we have Vintage Motorcycle. It'd be nice for somebody that's a motorcycle head. And then another design, or a set of designs by Doreen Jones. Mer Animals. Mer Animals. These are cute. These are really cute. You got a mer teddy down here. You got a mer bunny. And there's a cute little seahorse. Mer kitty. And then, I guess that's a mer puppy, mer doggy, and then the little seashell right there. So those are cute. Those would be cute for like a little girl's bathroom. And I think maybe that's it. Or we have one more, I think. Babby's Masterclass this month is for spider web stitch. This is the design, and each of these big dots that you see right here, that is a spider web stitch. Kind of give you a taste of how you do that. Yeah, that's how you do a spider web stitch apparently. So that is her master class this month. And this is what we got coming next month. There's some more for next month. So, but that's all for that. One of these days, I'm going to figure out Sudoku, y'all. I'm going to figure it out. Because they put a crossword and a Sudoku puzzle in the back of each issue. But anyway, that is World of Cross Stitch issue 322. That is the August issue, I believe. So, right? I guess. August, maybe? Maybe. But, yeah, that's what that is. I did go ahead and submit the little mail-in thing to renew my subscription for World of Cross Stitch, but I am not renewing just Cross Stitch because one, I rarely stitch from magazines anyway, and I feel like with World of Cross Stitch, I feel like my tastes have kind of shifted as far as what I like to stitch, and I just find that I'm not finding as much in just cross stitch that I would like to stitch, that I could actually see myself stitching. So I have decided to not renew just cross stitch, but I am renewing World of Cross Stitch, which is a UK publication. But I guess it's all dependent on what kinds of things you stitch more of. And I feel like I could see myself stitching more of what comes out of World of Cross Stitching these days and what comes out of just cross stitch. So I know I said I was probably going to let both my magazine subscriptions go, but I do want to keep World of Cross Stitch. So I did also get my nest egg from 3L Threads, which I haven't even opened, y'all. That's how bad it is. I opened it, but I mean, I got it in and I knew what it was. So it's like I didn't feel like I needed to open it. These guys are tough. But I do know that this is the last one that I got in. So I'll show you what we got this month. And this was actually in my July. This is actually my July. Maybe that World of Cross Stitch, maybe that's July. Because I know I haven't done a video since June. Maybe that's July. I don't remember. Y'all know me. Y'all know I can't remember nothing. So this month we have Baby Chick, which looks like to be kind of a very, very pale, yellowy, lime greeny kind of color. Very pale. Barrel Cactus. Betty Bluebell. Really pretty, basic. What I would call kind of a sky blue or a Carolina blue. Bambino. Pink with some lilac in there. Really pretty. Bandana. Looks like we are back into the B's now. The A's and B's. Bejeweled. This is a gorgeous color, y'all. That's gorgeous. Balsam Fir. Really dark, deep green. I don't know if it's coming through. Bean Sprout. Baking Tin. Kind of an antique bluey gray. And then finally, Barn Door, which I am using on Anvars and Lavro. So I now have a new skein of Barn Door. So one of these days, y'all, I'm going to have the space to actually organize my threads, but I just don't have it right now. So right now they're all just kind of sitting in a big plastic bag. And then I also got my last shipment of the Fabrics by Stephanie monthly fabric that I was getting from Needlecraft Corner. I did decide not to sign up again for this coming year, just because y'all, if y'all saw my fabrics collection, my fabric stash, y'all would be shocked. I have way too much fabric, and I don't need more. So, and I don't foresee myself starting very much, either this year or next year. Yes, I have my planned starts, which, incidentally, side note, I was supposed to start a restart in July, which was my Lost Boys, my Lost Boys poster, I did decide to forego that. I was gonna try to maybe start something else or restart something else, but honestly, I just didn't have the time or the opportunity to really get in there and see if I could find anything else to start. There's nothing that I was really like pushing to start or anything, so that's gonna get started at a later time. So I did have an extra start already this year when I started that multiplication table, so I'm not stressing about it right now. So my next start will probably be in September, right? Or October. I think I was going to start my hate in October. I'm going to have to go back and look and see. Anywho, getting back to the fabric shipment, I was getting fabrics by Stephanie through Needlecraft Corner, and July being the last shipment, we got 2 pieces of fabric. So you're paying for 12, but you're going to get the extra 13th piece at the end of the year if you stay subscribed for the whole year. So the first piece of fabric I got is I was getting a 36 count back quarter, and this one is Colonial Parchment. Really good neutral. And then the last piece, the very last piece, is something completely different. Something that you'd have to probably find just the right thing to put it on it. This is called Harvest Pumpkin. Very orange. It's more deep than it's showing up. It's a little bit of a darker color than it's showing up, but it's, yeah. Anyway, it's not very mottled. It's not very too much variegated or mottled, but it's mostly solid, but still definitely would have to find the right thing. I could see like maybe a Halloween fractor. Maybe I might do, God, what's that one? I'd have to see if there's any orange in it, but there's a couple of patterns that I have already that may or may not work on that. So yeah, that was my last shipment of fabric for a while. Because like I said, I'm not continuing into the new shipment, the new membership. And then with that, they actually did send freebies. I don't remember what the free gift was, or if they even sent a free gift. I don't remember. But they did send some freebie patterns as well. There's a Cricut Collection Little Independence Mitten. I bet that's red, white, and blue. I actually already have this one. This is Americana Flag by Joy of the Needle. I already have that one. America's Freedom and Patriotic Garden. America's Freedom by the Sunflower Seed and Patriotic Garden by Waxing Moon Designs. I believe I already have both of these as well. And then I know for a fact I already have this one. We the People by the Sewing Circle. So this is like the July packet, I guess. And then I guess this is a June packet, or August maybe. I don't remember. But it's another packet. We have Summer in a Jar by the Cricut Collection. This is really cute, y'all. I'm holding it way back here. But this is really cute. I'm going to end up having to stitch this. It says sweet tea and fireflies. That's so sweet, y'all. And then another pattern, another copy of a pattern of the design I just finished. Like, I think I finished it last time y'all saw me. It was a garden square, remember? Remember me doing it on that even weave, 1/1? No, I'm not doing that again. And then we have Bird and Flower by Chessie and Me. This looks like a really sweet pattern as well. It's only 40 by 42. Like, y'all, it's so small. Let's see. I'm just doing a quick little look here to see. There is a Smyrna cross in here. Where is the Smyrna cross? Where is the Smyrna cross? I'm not seeing it. Says there's a Smyrna cross, but I don't see it. Where is the Smyrna cross? And then we also have some satin stitch. Oh. The Eye of the Bird. The Eye of the Bird is a Smyrna cross. Okay. And then the beak. And then the... What? Are you serious right now? The Eye of the Bird. His beak, which is stitch, stitch, diagonal 1 stitch. And then his legs are all Smyrna crosses over 6. How the heck is that supposed to work? What? I don't even know. It looks cute, y'all, but things are gonna have to be figured out. It says model stitched on 32 count cream sienna linen using 1 strand of floss unless otherwise indicated. What? Wait, what? Design is cross-stitched using 1 strand of floss over 2 linen threads unless otherwise indicated. Fill in sections of Tulip with rows of satin stitch using 2 strands. Smyrna across the eye and feet using beak and feet using 1 strand. Solid line around outer edge is back stitched using 2 strands. Toasted barley. I hate to tell y'all, but if I stitch this, I'm not stitching 1 strand over 2 on 32 count. Not doing it. That's a little too sparse for my liking. Anywho, TNNA, I don't know what that means. Seasons in Stitches. By Queen Stitch, and then that one, and then Seasons in Stitches, Summer Sailing Alphabet by JBW Designs. Little alphabet within a sailboat. I feel like I've seen this one, like, for sale when God rest their soul, whenever a Stitch and Frame was open. I feel like I've seen something like that by JBW Designs being sold. But I got that in. That was my last shipment of fabric. And then the last thing I have to show you as far as Happy Mail, I am ecstatic to get. I'm very happy that I was able to get this pattern, and that I was able to get this pattern as cheap as I got it. One day, a couple weeks ago, maybe about a week and a half ago, I was, not even a week and a half ago, about a week ago, I guess, something like that. Anyway, I was, for whatever reason, I got a wild hair, which I do occasionally, to get on Facebook Marketplace. And I was scrolling through and looking, and I came across a picture of this design, this kit, and I always do a search for cross stitch. I'm not interested in your truck, your 2000s truck that you're selling, or your grandma's hutch. I don't care. I don't care about that stuff. I don't need none of that stuff. So whenever I do get on Facebook Marketplace, I'll enter the search term in for cross stitch. And so I was scrolling through and looking, almost clicked on and bought a lot of, was it Prairie Schoolers? Or no. It was either Prairie Schoolers or Cricket Collection. I don't remember. But I almost bought those. It was a lot of maybe 4 or 5 designs. And they weren't bad. So, I'm sorry, my dad's calling me right now and I have to ignore him. I've already spoken to him this morning. And they are having a kind of a so long and farewell, last chance to see us kind of thing, because they have sold their house and they are going to be moving out, I think, Wednesday or Thursday, with no other house to go to right now. I think he said they're going to maybe travel to Myrtle Beach for a little bit, or Florida, and see how they like other places. So he's been talking for years about moving down to Florida or somewhere else other than around here, because the house they were in, like, it was fine when they bought it, but it's, once everybody moved out, it's like it was just too much house, and it was just one repair after another. It was like he was always working on it. So anywho, I'm gonna have to call him back here in a minute. But I was on Facebook Marketplace and I was scrolling through, and I saw a picture of this kit, and it was saying it was a kit. It was and she was only asking for $10. She was only asking for $10 for this thing. $10, 10 American dollars, right? Plus shipping. And as I like to do, I took the name and the name of the pattern of the kit and the designer and typed it into Google and to see what I could see. And the going price on this kit is in the $50 ranges. Usually about, I think, between like $52, $56, something like that. Even on the, what is it? I feel like I had it and then I lost it. Anyway, even on a selling, not a selling site, but a retail online cross stitch site that I found, it was regularly priced at $69.99 or something like, or $64.99, and it was on sale for $53.99. So if that doesn't tell you anything, that the going price for this kit is in the $50 range, even on eBay. And this woman was selling it for $10. And I was thinking, I'm like, I really hope this is the actual kit. It's not a copy. I'm not getting ripped off. She shipped it super fast. Like, I ordered it, and I think it was on like a Saturday or Sunday that I ordered it. She shipped it out that following Monday. I had it in my hand 3 days later. Super fast. And I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was the actual kit, and it was an unopened kit. So all of this talk, what am I talking about? It's the Moira Blackburn kit. That's what I was mentioning a few minutes ago. It's a Moira Blackburn kit. It's called Season and Time. Isn't that a pretty sampler? Season and Time. And it just has that quote that says, "To everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under heaven." Really pretty. And, like I said, unopened. It looks to be unopened. Maybe she opened it just to close it right back up again. But it's still packaged the way they usually come. It's still packaged the way they're sold. So I don't foresee anything missing. I'm sure that's the needle. I think that's the needle right there. So everything's here. I'm super happy. I got a $50, $60 kit for $10 plus shipping. So super, super happy with that. So that's all I got for y'all today. I apologize for being gone so long. Like I said, stitching time these days is kind of few and far between. It's usually short and or very intermittent, like very sporadic. Like I said, sometimes maybe I get some stitching in while Abby's playing. Other times I don't. Sometimes and maybe I stitch in the evenings after work, after we've had dinner, after Abby goes to bed. Sometimes, most of the time I don't. It's all dependent on how I feel and if I'm feeling up to stitching. As far as any other life stuff, I know I mentioned a couple of things already. I'm off all this week from work. But I do have a couple of plans, a couple of things that I want to do while I'm off. One of those things being taking an overnight trip down to Georgia with me and Abby to see my older daughter and let her meet her baby sister for the first time. But I also need to take her some baby clothes, and it's just easier for me to take them to her because there are multiple boxes of baby clothes for her. She did have a baby recently, like a month ago. She didn't tell anybody. She said even though she did find out late, she didn't really tell anybody. So she has a new baby. That's baby number 5. And I think she did say she got a tube side after this one. So we'll see. But, and then she has the twins, who are now a year old. God, I can't believe that. And she only has one girl. Her oldest is a boy. Her second oldest is a boy. The twins, are like fraternal twins, a boy and a girl. And then the one that she just had a month ago was another boy. So she is going to probably be babying up that girl very much. And I told her, I was like, I have clothes. There are some things that are unisex, but there's a lot of girl clothes in there too. And she's like, that's fine, I don't care. So I'm going to try to go and see her if I can sometime next week, this coming week. But I don't know what day I'm going to be going yet, because I'm trying to take this weekend to take it easy as much as possible, but then I got some things I need to do next week. And what else? I did get Abby a phone. Because I'm sitting here looking at it, that's why it reminded me. Yes, I did get her own phone. It's not a brand new phone. It is a refurbished, low storage amount iPhone 8. Just your standard iPhone 8. I think I paid $145 for it. And I've got this cute little pink and blue case on it. And I did this because she has this game that she likes to play.
Go to the school to learn using Abby's magic laptop, or go to the circus to complete a...
I didn't put that name. That's the name that the game is using for this little monkey character. Abby. I don't know if anybody heard that, but the monkey character's name is Abby. But that's a game that she likes to play, and she's been learning so much on it. She's recognizing her shapes and her alphabets, her numbers, her colors. Like, she has this little, it's like, they call it it's a sensory toy, but it has like these big, different sized pop bubbles in it. And then I'll ask her, I'm like, which one is blue? And she'll put her fingers and pop down the one that's blue, and then yellow, and I'll ask her the same thing. And then like this morning I was playing with her. She has a, an alphabet puzzle. It's a big wooden puzzle board, but it's got the alphabet pieces, and it's got the wooden alphabet, and it sits down in the puzzle, what do you call it, cutouts. Anyway, I was playing with her on that this morning, and I would hand her a letter and say it was like letter P. I'm like, where does the P go? Where's P? And even though she couldn't fit the puzzle piece, she wasn't able to fit the puzzle piece down in the cutout, she would set the P on top of where the letter was. So she's getting there. She's very smart. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to tell you, because she took like the shortest nap of all naps. She took like 40, I think she may have slept like 45 minutes. Looks like she's laying back down. We'll see if she's still wanting to sleep a little bit more. Because she was up for 6 hours before she actually fell asleep. So we'll see. I think, what else? There's something else I was wanting to tell you guys and I forgot. I don't remember. I don't remember what it is. There's always something that I'm forgetting, y'all. There's always something I'm forgetting. I remember what I was going to tell y'all. I've had to make an appointment with an optometrist because I feel like I'm getting a bit farsighted. Either that, or I've just gotten to where I can't read any text up here without glasses. So I have an appointment with an optometrist. I feel like it's because I've used glasses for so long to magnify my stitching that it's weakened my eyes, and I'm getting older. So it's getting to that point now. So yeah. But anywho, that appointment is not until September 23rd, because new patients and just they're booking up, I guess. I don't know why optometrist offices are so busy right now, but so I'm sure I will see you guys again before my appointment. So, but I've got a little bit of time. I guess I'll leave y'all with that for right now. I don't know when I'll be able to come back with progress. You know me, I like to get a decent amount to show you guys before I try to do a video. So I don't know how long that's gonna take. But if and when I go to Georgia, maybe I can take you guys along. But I don't know. It won't be a very long or interesting vlog. Traveling 5 hours each way with the baby, with a toddler. So, but we'll see. It's entirely, everything is dependent on how I feel and the situation and all that good stuff. So, but even if I don't see you guys on my trip to Georgia, if I don't see you guys by the end of August, I guess I'll see y'all when I see you. And until whenever that next time might be, hope you guys get lots of stitching in. Have a great week. Have a great month. And as always, be good, guys. Bye.
Hey, Abby.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yay, Abby.
9, 10, 11,